Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Wyatt's World Extra and welcome back to another top 10 list. In today's video, I'm going to be going back through my childhood and giving you guys the top 10 reasons I ever got grounded. Now, I can't say this is going to be in any in particular order because these are all ridiculous, but just know I am not condoning any of these activities. I did them at one point in my younger life, but I paid the price for every single one of them. Real quick before we start the video, just make sure to use code Wyatt10 to save yourself a discount on any Waggle merchandise. Link is in the description. Alright, enough plugging now. Let's get into 10 reasons why Wyatt got grounded as a kid. Alright, so first reason I was grounded as a kid, some of you guys are going to be very familiar with this tale, but I threw my Xbox 360 controller through my dad's 65-inch flat screen TV. Now, to this day, me and my dad argue about it because he thinks I'm lying about how it happened, but I genuinely am not, because why would I lie at this stage in my life? Long story short, he was gone fishing for the weekend, so I brought my 360 in the basement. I was playing WWE 13, lost a match online because the game didn't let me kick out in time, so I whipped the controller at the ground, and it literally banked off and smacked the screen. Destroyed the entire television. Not only was I grounded from playing Xbox, but I had to pay for that TV by working an entire summer at a nursing home. It was awesome. Next reason I was grounded was the time I was caught ding-dong ditching a pastor in my neighborhood, and not only did we just ding-dong ditch him at midnight, but we drew enormous penises on his driveway with chalk. They caught us, he made us clean it off with toothbrushes, which took like 45 minutes, when then I would return home to my mother angrily waiting for me in the garage where she would ground me. There are certain things I have regrets about, and there are certain things I don't. That is one I do not have regrets about, because to this day, it's pretty fucking funny. I mean, we had veins on these things and everything. They were huge. Next incident we got was my senior year of high school when I bought Grand Theft Auto 5 using my college bank account. This was one of the worst things I've ever done because of how angry my dad was. Now, to be fair, I used it for a little bit more than Grand Theft Auto, but that was the boiling point. So basically, my dad had a savings account linked up with my bank's checking account. I could use the checking account because that was my money, but my savings account was not my money. That was for college. Okay, well, I found out that if I went to like ATMs and stuff and I just hit savings instead of checking, it would obviously use that money and not my own money. And then after about a week of making microtransactions and eventually Grand Theft Auto 5, I got a call from my dad. I'm not kidding you guys. He worked 2 towns over. I could hear him not only yelling through the phone, but I swear across 2 towns through the air. That's how fucking loud he was yelling at me. He called me and he's like, hey, something's going on with your bank account. It got hacked. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, people are buying $20 worth of gas for it and they just bought a video game with it. And I was like, oh, that was me. Just go ahead to say Wyatt did not play Grand Theft Auto 5 on time because I was grounded. Next up, we have the time I was caught with chewing tobacco in 7th grade. Yeah, you heard that right. I don't remember even how I got my hands on it, I'm being honest. If I remembered, I'd say it, but somehow, someway, 7th grade Wyatt got chewing tobacco on a school bus. And me and my friends all decided to toss a dip in 7th grade on a school bus. We were caught the next day because we didn't try to hide it. We thought we were cool. And not only did I serve in-school suspension for an entire day, which means you're sitting in a tiny 1x1 room doing nothing, but I lost my cell phone, I'm pretty sure, for like 6 months. Oh, father was not pleased with that one. And ironically, I remember the day I got caught, he picked me up from school, which never happened, because I had a dentist appointment. Like, it was literally just fate. Stay away from tobacco, kids. It's not cool, and it makes you feel sick. I don't even know why I did it. Next up, we're gonna do another throwback to classic Wyatt's World here, but I was grounded for throwing snowballs at cars. Multiple times this has happened, by the way, not just once. I'm gonna be honest, I think it's maybe 4 or 5 times I've been caught and grounded. Dude, we had the perfect corner in our yard where it would just be right across the busiest road in our neighborhood, so we'd always build a little igloo there, duck behind it, and when cars would drive by, we'd stand up and just drill the cars. Okay, well, after like 3 times of getting caught in our own yard doing that, we decided it's not very smart to do it in front of our house anymore, so we decided to move onto the highway. And one of the cars we threw a snowball at was a cop. Dude, this cop drove through the ditch of snow to get to us. Like, he could have just went around into my neighborhood and he's like, no, 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 no. Motherfucker went right into the ditch and up to get us. And I was like, okay, well, I'm done. Grounded, goodbye, good night, end of story. Next up, we got the time I was grounded from WWE wrestling. So I used to go to Kid Stop, and this will not be the last Kid Stop story you guys hear from, but Kid Stop was essentially Boys and Girls Club. It was a daycare your parents could drop you off in the summer or after school at. So me and a group of my friends at Kid Stop got into a fight with another group of kids, and this was in the midst of, 8 to 10-year-old Wyatt heavily watching WWE. So obviously Wyatt wanted to replicate something he saw on TV. So what I did was I grabbed my friend's spiky bracelet, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I'll show a picture of it. I grabbed that off of his wrist, wrapped it around my knuckles like they were brass knuckles, and I punched a kid in the fucking back. Instant screaming. I won the fight. I also ended the fight, and I believe that ended my time at Kid Stop for a considerable amount. I just remember on the way home my mom asking how I even thought of that, and I said wrestling, and then Wyatt didn't watch wrestling until he was probably 12. Listen to the WWE. Do not try it at home. All right, next up, we got the time I smoked 2 deer in my car when I capitalized should not have been driving. I wasn't drinking or anything like that, but it was so cold in Minnesota, like -30, not kidding you. And I was like freshly 16, like just had gotten my license. Anyway, it was a weekend, Saturday night to be exact, and my dad wasn't home at the time, but I called him and I was like, hey, I want to go out to my buddy's house and play poker. And he's like, no, not tonight, just stay home. You can go tomorrow, it's too fucking cold right now. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, if your car dies, if you hit something, I don't know, just please don't drive tonight. You're not allowed to. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So what did I do? I drove. And sure shit, I'm flying down this back road, -30 degrees, ice on the road, and what happens? 2 deer run out in front of my car and I drill them both. This causes me to do like 6 fucking donuts and eventually slide right into the ditch where my little 4-cylinder red car couldn't get out. Not even like I would have been able to hide it if I did get out. My car was destroyed, but I had no choice from that moment other than to call who? My dad. I don't think I drove my car again until the summer. All right, next situation where I was grounded. I stole my cell phone back. Well, kind of, not really. So basically, this is carrying on from the chewing tobacco story, but my phone was taken away from that, and many months later, I decided that I wanted to have my phone back, and my dad wouldn't give it back, so I took one of his old cell phones, took my SIM card out of my phone, put it in his phone, and was using that, until I got caught at school with it like an idiot. Grounded. I honestly think I was within like a month of getting my phone back too, and that extended it by like 3. It was terrible. It wasn't worth my time. All right, now we got the time I ran away from Kid Stop. You know, the place I was talking about earlier, the Boys and Girls Club? Yeah, we just ran away. You imagine being a staff when you're in charge of kids and they disappear? Like, I don't even actually want to know how badly we scared them. But yeah, no, like there's nothing else to the story other than what I just said. We were at this daycare all day. It was at a school that was surrounded by a field and a bunch of other buildings. So during recess, me and my friend were out there and we're like, hey, fuck this, let's get out of here. And he was like, all right, so we just took off. We just ran. Eventually, the staff sent out a search crew. They found us, they brought us back, called our parents, had them pick us up like right there and then. And of course, I was grounded. Me and that friend, his name was Eric, we were not allowed to be in the same Kid Stop rotation for like a month. And finally, I kinda did save the best for last, but I flat out took a shit in my neighbor's yard once. Yeah, we didn't like the kid at all. Like, nobody in the neighborhood liked him. So instead of like doing something practical, I shit in his yard, dropped my pants, bent down, and dumped. My dad, to this day, still thinks it's hilarious. He laughed then, he'll laugh now. My mom, she did not find it funny. She was the one who grounded me that time. Must be just a dude thing, but yeah, Murray's always had my back on that. And that is gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen, for 10 infamous times where Wyatt was grounded as a young child. I hope you enjoyed with it. I hope you had fun with it. Show support if you can, and you guys already know the drill. I'm gonna edit this so you can watch it on time. Enjoy your Tuesday. I'll see you the next time I upload.